Good morning. It's Saturday morning, 7:30. Just getting here. So, showed you last night where we finished off. So I think the first thing we're going to work on is moving all this stuff out of here and setting the poles, lay the pavers under here, just the majority of them. We're not going to really worry about the border. And then once that's done, we can set the poles out here to at least this corner here, and then be able to get all the pavers in this section done. And that way on Monday, when we're short on guys, I can do a lot of cuts, and hopefully today won't be too long of a day because we finished laying the pavers up here by noon yesterday. So between these two areas, no, it was before noon because I had it all cut in and everything. Anyways, hopefully we'll be done by 1 or 2, just laying pavers, and then I can focus on cuts on Monday. So we'll see what happens though. Getting it all filled in, and then I'm going through and adjusting all these brown pavers were a little bit low once I put the coping, so I'm adjusting that. Alright, just grabbed another pallet. So we're laying the pavers in the middle section here, and then I'll just have cuts left. Hoping to finish up the cuts on the coping today possibly, and then we'll finish up the rest of the cuts on Monday. Alright, that wraps up today. It's 4 o'clock on Saturday. We ended up getting basically exactly where I wanted to get, just about to the pillar. We got all these pavers in, and all the pavers in down here. Obviously still have a lot of cuts to do, but that looks great. And then I also got all the coping cut around the whole top. So this is looking really, really good. Attention to detail is very key, and all the joints are super tight. Looks really, really good. So that ends out today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Good morning. Monday morning, back at it. It's a little bit of a late start. I had a dentist appointment this morning, so heading over there now, and we can start doing the cuts for the main patio and underneath the covered porch, and see where we get into. Hopefully we can get some more base today, and then get the rest of the pavers laid tomorrow maybe, or Wednesday. But this week's supposed to be really nice weather-wise, so hopefully we can get a lot done and start to finish the project pretty soon. Okay, so I'm getting ready to make some cuts. So I was just gonna show you guys what's going on. So on Saturday we got all this base in, so we still have to go up probably 6 inches over there, and over here it's only a couple inches. So moving over here by the steps, I got all this cut in. I think I showed you that. So right along here, you can kind of maybe see that. See those dashes? I'm going to follow those for that inside curve. And then I have a line here for that. And then after those are out, I'll have to figure out this curve in here. And then I'm gonna wait on this outside curve till we get the rest of it laid, because I'm not exactly sure how I want that curve. And then I'll have all this around here to cut in, which shouldn't be too bad because it's all straight edges. And up here, that we have to cut down or cut it flush, and then be able to cover it with something. We still haven't figured out what exactly we want to cover it. We'll have to figure out what the homeowner wants and go from there. But for now, I'm gonna work on getting all this cut in, and then use whatever base I have to get the base figured out and go from there. If you do pavers, but nothing beats being able to cut it all together at once with the cutoff saw, because then it all flows perfectly. Like there's nothing, well, this I have to trim because that wasn't supposed to be there, but it flows perfectly. There's no jig jag at all because it all was cut at the same time from one to another. When I first started out, I used to mark each one and cut it, and it just takes forever. That's why on the top here, I did the coping second, because I was able to have these hang all the way over and cut them all at once. So now it all matches nice and clean. So this is all cut out, so I can go ahead and cut this line here and there, and then I'm going to save this for later, because I think I have to adjust these and cut some of the back sides off because there's too much hanging over. So if I cut the back side and push them a little bit, it'll adjust that, and I don't want to cut this curve until I do that, because then that'll get messed up. So as long as I leave that for last, I can cut this here, and then I can cut out this whole inside area and put a couple of my scraps from that I just cut. Actually, I could probably put these there. But anyways, I gotta cut 11 3/4 inches all the way around. And then that'll be basically it for cuts almost today. And then I can get the border in. We're waiting on the Brussels border because that was sort of an add-on, so we got to figure that out. And that should be it for cuts today. Then I can work on base. Alright, as you saw, I just got that finished cut out. And these Brussels block are on the way. And more of the Motoni because we're almost out, which is the brown brick. So then that'll look really good. I'll be able to get that in there. So now I could either start cutting the coping, which I'm not sure if I want to cut the coping, or I can cut in this whole bottom pad here. I'll probably do this. I'll probably cut this, and then I'd rather get the bricks in and then cut the coping once the bricks are up to it, because then I know that that coping's not going to move. So yeah, I'll work on this. Get that all cut in, and then everything, all the hard cuts are pretty much done, because now it's just the borders. And over there will be much easier, because this will be the hardest for sure, because I have to cut each one individually. I can't do it like I did here where I cut all of them together and all of them together, which saves a lot of time because there's a tall wall around it obviously. So I'll cut these now, and then hopefully the bricks will be here by then and I can start doing the border. Alright, so now I get to do the fun part. Get the soldier course in. So it's gonna be pretty neat the way it turns out. So you guys can watch in a time lapse. It's gonna be kind of a pain because the Brussels is gonna be on the outside, but the cuts will make it look really, really good the way I'm gonna do it. Alright, so I just got done with some of the more difficult but satisfying cuts. So my new favorite angle of the job is right here. I absolutely love this landing with the Unilock Motoni. Ties it all together, and then having the Brussels to kind of break up and have it kind of mimic this once it's on the outside edge is why we ended up doing that. But it looks really good. Nice tight gaps. Over here you won't really notice that. I might trim those, but we're gonna use gray sand, so you really won't even see that there's gaps there in between. I'll have to touch up the corner there and then go around, but it just looks so good. Going around. I think I honestly like seeing just two of the Motoni versus the three. still like how this looks, but I really do like the 2 versus 3 with the Matoni, which is the skinny brown brick. Yeah, that looks really, really good standing right here. Can't wait to, there's gonna be a pillar here, a pillar there, and then the bar area and everything over there. Then we're gonna have a tree right here, nice and skinny, super skinny, lit up. And then have lights on all these steps. But tomorrow we should be mulching a couple jobs instead, because we're waiting on more base. We weren't able to get that in today. They didn't get back with us soon enough. So that should be back Wednesday. So we should be back to working on this Wednesday, Thursday. And then we'll see what happens. But that should end out today's video. I'm gonna start cleaning up and then get everything loaded up for tomorrow, because we're gonna take the skid and the mini skid to go do some mulching. We just got 130 yards of mulch delivered to our yard. So we can take a bunch of mulch to each place and get everything cleaned up for the spring now that it's actually warm out.